Welcome back to another episode of the Expansion Podcast. I'm so happy you're here. We're recording today on video and on the podcast channels, and I'm just so happy you're here. This topic is definitely one that I think we're all feeling right now. I'm recording under the full moon like I always do, but today is also an eclipse, and it's the start of eclipse season again, and there is a doorway opening between one timeline and the next. And we have been feeling this big surge of energy and confusion, and sometimes like we've fallen behind, or maybe that we are taking 5 steps forward and 80 steps back, and there's this dance that's happening now. And this is what it looks like when you're in between timelines. And I want to teach you today how that looks and feels, and also how to hold the frequency of what's coming, because I know you feel it. That's part of the dance. The part of the dance is having this deeper sense, this inner knowing that there's something big coming, and it's exciting and it feels fun, and I'm ready for it. I'm hungry for it. And also still feeling this lag, like we're not quite there yet. And so this portal that's open right now is that threshold. So, and we still have to dance with that energy and hold that energy. So I really want to talk to the women here who know that they're not who they used to be, but we don't really see who we are next and what's coming next. We can sort of see, we have some pieces, but this space in between timelines, it is such a peculiar, almost, I want to use that word, energy that is hard to read. So let's get a read on it together. So let's first define what being between timelines really looks like, because this isn't going to be the first and only time that this happens. There have probably already been moments that this has happened before, and there will most likely be moments where it will happen again, where we redefine ourselves in a whole new way. And what this looks like is the old has fallen away, right? There are situations, exchanges, experiences, relationships, choices, and even versions of you of how you have shown up that are no longer. We worked so hard over the last several months, maybe years, putting those to bed, letting them go, and alchemizing them into now, the now of where you're at. And that shift has built this next timeline for you. And that all of what's there, it's already existing, right? It's already happened. It's already here on some multidimensional reality. You've been building that this whole time, right? You did the hard work already. Now we're just at the threshold in between, but it hasn't come into physical formation yet. It's just about to, right? Just about to be birthed. So your frequency is already ahead of your current reality, your external reality, and that can feel really wonky, because it's almost like, well, I know I'm so ready for that. I'm really done with all of this. And it can often be mistaken as, and you can see why, as stagnation. I'm stuck, or I'm failing, or I've taken so many steps back. But it's actually this quantum recalibration, this energetic void in the quantum that you're dancing in. So you have this inner knowing that so much has changed, but there's no real physical proof of it. And it's something that feels so difficult to talk about, because we can't really explain this energetic, sacred process that has been happening in the background, because it's a recalibration that is happening in this quantum void. And to really translate that and decode that is definitely possible. but it's really hard to talk about out loud or even recognize that that's happening. And another point that I need to say, I just need to say it because I'm going to call it what it is here. This space, this quantum void, this whole experience is so tender. It's so raw. It's like, it's this grief that's here and this mix of fiery energy that's all of a sudden here and excitement. And then the next minute you feel like, oh my gosh, like the lag, right? And it's this dance between death and rebirth because I want to teach you really how to hold this too, how to hold this frequency, this portal open for yourself while feeling safe and feeling held and protected and not so tender and raw and confused by really what's going on. And you're releasing control. That sends your ego for one heck of a trip, right? We're like, what? No, hang on. No. And that can feel like a part of you is dying. But that is what's happening. We're releasing not only control, but we're releasing a part of ourselves that was us, is us, was us, but also we feel it doesn't fit anymore. That version of us, we're so grateful that that version of us got us here. But it's also, you get to rest now because this isn't about fighting anymore. This is really about shifting into a space, this timeline of authenticity and newness. And we are no longer self-betraying our authenticity. And that feels so darn good, right? How good does that feel? We're done with the self-betrayal. We're calling in our intuitions and we're releasing everything that gets in the way of that. So the grieving of who you were and birthing who you don't know yet, but you can feel and sense and fought so hard to bring out of you from the depths of your soul. That's the dance. Knowing when to grieve and giving yourself those moments to anchor your newness in and also let go. And also knowing when to celebrate and keep calling in that frequency of the new and showing up in the new shoes you're wearing of this new version of you and allowing them to get comfortable, just like any new pair of shoes that we buy. And you're learning not only what this is, but how to hold that, how to stabilize it. So I want to give you some tools to stabilize it. Let's talk about those. And this is also what I've been doing. There's daily anchoring into the new. So those are your daily anchoring practices that are very specific to you. There's going to be specific, we're all unique. We all have different practices that anchor us in our individual energetic blueprints. That could be breath work, grounding. That could be going for a walk. That can be visualization with music. That can be just laying and breathing, dancing, quiet time. The other thing you're going to be doing is energy clearing. We want to make sure that when the parts of ourselves that are ready to be released, that we've asked to be released, that are trying to release, we're actually holding that intention and allowing them to go, giving them the space to clear through crying, through journaling, through laughter, through release. Sometimes release looks like going on a run for people or a walk, shouting into a pillow, crying. For me, it's crying, laughing, going to do your energetic sessions, modalities that help you keep releasing, but keep clearing that energy. Anytime you hear the whispers of something you're trying to change, that new voice, we're going to anchor it in. Allow it to go. Give it the moment to grieve, to pass. Tell it it's okay. And then the third tool here is speaking aloud what you're calling in and what you do know. Even if it's just, I'm ready for the new. I'm ready. I just did this today. I felt all of that crumbling again. And I saw all the new, and I just said, I'm ready. I'm done with everything. I said that talking out loud in my car to myself. I'm done with all that. The way that mindset, the way that I was showing up in these spaces, it wasn't shame. It was just, I'm done. That doesn't fit anymore. Those shoes, I'm so grateful to them. I got holes in them because they were super worn, and I love worn stuff, nostalgic stuff. But I'm also okay to put them into a box and allow them to go. Maybe put them into a river and watch them drift to the distance. So make sure that you're anchoring, you're clearing, and you're speaking out loud so you can hold that frequency. You're just talking yourself through it. Right? I'm doing the dance. I'm entering a new timeline. This is what's going on. Keep grounding yourself in that. And I hope you can see the difference between as I'm talking about all this and we're talking about the tools of this feeling like you're falling behind and this invisible restructuring that's happening. It can feel actually really strange. And I know that it's hard to talk about this stuff out loud because it almost feels like, am I making this all up? Isn't that my clients say that to me all the time? I'm like, you're not. I can see the energy. You're not doing it. I'm also feeling it. I've also seen it in so many other women that I work with and clients, students. But it's really just an energetic void you've never experienced before. And it's okay to have fear come up and be like, whoa, what's this? Hello, can someone explain this to me? What is this? What's going on? It's okay to feel that way because, we have to be taught these things. It's not something we learn in traditional school infrastructures and systems, right? Definitely, like I've said before, if you've been following me along for a long time, why I put out all the education I do and communities that I built, that was one of the biggest reasons. So I so feel this with you. And I want to talk about and share with you a moment in my life where this was happening. And it took quite a number of months after the collapse. And it was a very obvious collapse and crumbling. It was very obvious. I really had to leave a number of people behind because it was just no longer fitting. And exchanges in my business, in my personal life, and seal up even more energetic boundaries for myself because of the version of me that it would kept calling forth. I stopped liking her. It stopped resonating with me as I started to call in this bigger timeline and moving on the astrological rhythm that was there too, but also deeply pursuing it myself. And this my entire identity was shifting and I knew it, and it really started to rumble and crumble, right? The chaos on the way that it shows up in relationships and how it shows up, and these, it was, like I said, it was very obvious, it was very abrupt. And there was so much grief and there was so much letting go. And I almost felt, oh my gosh, am I doing and I I did everything I told you. I anchored daily. I energetically cleared and I spoke out loud what was happening. I kept reminding myself. I told myself the story. I knew what was going on. But when we're emotional, right? And the fear sets in and confusion and the doubt, maybe guilt and shame, it can feel very difficult to move through. Like you're moving through molasses, you're trying to walk through water. I kept saying that out loud to my partner, my husband. I kept saying, it feels like I'm underwater and the water's rushing in front of me and I'm walking upstream. And it feels like that's the type of energy I'm moving through. I'm letting go of in my lineage, in myself, in my life, this timeline that was so precise and built. And but it was an energetic choice. And that's when I knew, and as I inched closer to that gate, that portal, I knew that my soul was almost through it. And I just kept telling myself that. And it just got easier. And that's how we weave it together. We hold the frequency. It's always awareness. It's always awareness of energy and what's going on and where we're at, and not rushing it and not building a story of that's self-deprecating, but one that's really nourishing and, in my opinion, aligned in the truth of I'm letting go of this old version of me, and this is what it comes with. This is what a tumbling crime timeline looks like, right? Because it's one thing to read it and study it all, like I did in school, but it's another thing to live through it. It's one thing to teach it to clients and students, another thing to move through it. It's this beautiful balance between the human and the divine information that's coming through. And there's a really big shift. I want to tell you what happens when we invite in space, the space that it needs to move and do its things and restructure and realign versus rushing. Because I was like, I just want to be done with it. I just want to rush through. But I had so much to rebuild, restructure, and let go of and release. Rebuild, restructure, release. Triple R. So holding the frequency is like tuning your nervous system to the new that's coming before it arrives. That's the secret sauce. And when we rush, we just keep pushing, pushing, pushing. It can cause misaligned choices and actions, premature action, not reading the situation right, wanting to just force and rush through it. So you take what's there, you make that choice instead of allowing the process to ripen. And then you start to see not only you building trust with yourself, your path, this highest timeline that's coming through, but also the divine source, God, universe, whatever word you want to put there that's comfortable, put it there. Building that trust, it builds a resonance that magnifies and magnetizes everything that timeline to you. And it felt, honestly, it felt like a burning inside. I felt like I was burning inside this. That's what I felt like. It was like being inside of a pressure cooker. And that was the only way I could describe it. And sometimes my skin would even be hotter than normal. I run cold. So I was like, this is weird, right? But, being so aware, so attuned, I stopped questioning things, a long time ago. I'm just like, it is what the energy, we are energy first. It is what it is. So I hope this landed with you in the ways that it needed to and reached you in the exact moment you needed to hear it. That's always what I intend for these episodes, for everything I do. And I just want you to, I'm going to end with this question. You can invite it in, you can journal on it, but can you stay present with the life that doesn't exist yet? Hold that frequency and still believe in it more than the one that's crumbling. And you can repeat this after me. I trust the invisible. My frequency is creating what I cannot see. I hold the frequency of my next life before it arrives. And I surrender to that process. Everything is working out in my highest alignment. And it feels so good to rest in that truth. Alrighty. It's an honor to have you here always, and an honor for me to show up and be here and speak on all the things that I'm so passionate about, and have you here listening, supporting, and that means the world to me. So I just wanted to share that with you and extend my gratitude and my love. And I'll see you in the next episode. Happy, beautiful full moon and eclipse. And till next time.